Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're fine. So today we're going to do a new lesson about reading a text. So look at the picture. What do you observe? Yeah, of course we have two people. We have a boy and a girl. What does the boy hold in his hand? Great, he holds a map. And the girl, so she's taking notes. As you see here, we have on the table 2 cups of coffee and camera, some papers and a notebook, which means they are talking about interesting topic. Okay, and take a look at the title. What do we have? We have an unusual trip. So can you guess the main idea of the text? Yes, great. So here we have an unusual trip, and we have the girl and the boy are looking at the map, and she's taking notes, which means maybe the topic of the text will be about a trip. So let's start reading. Please you pay attention and you follow with me. Then I'm going to explain the text for you. An unusual trip. Judy and Jack Gibson are looking at a map of the world. They're planning an unusual trip. Jack's going to walk around the world. He isn't going to walk forwards. He's going to walk backwards. Walking forwards isn't interesting. He says, everybody walks forwards. Judy isn't going to walk. She's going to go by plane. She's going to meet Jack in different countries. Judy is helping Jack get ready. He's going to take a backpack and a tent. He's going to climb mountains and walk through forests, jungles, and deserts, all backwards. He's going to take a camera. I'm going to take pictures of interesting places, he says. He's going to stop at internet cafes and use computers. When he gets home, he's going to write a book about his trip. It's going to be a great book, he says. Okay? Now, let me explain to you. I'm going to read the text again and you pay attention. You have unusual trip. When we say unusual trip, what does it mean? Which means something which is not normal. When we say unusual, something abnormal. Okay? It's the opposite of something which is normal. Then you have trip, which means journey. So an unusual trip, does it mean something normal? Of course no. Here, which means the person or the people who are in these pictures are going to do something different. Okay, so let's start with the first paragraph. You have Judy and Jack Gibson are looking at a map of the world, which means they are searching about a place in the map, or they are looking for the place where are going to travel. They're planning an unusual trip, which means they're trying to make a program for their journey. But as I say, this journey will be different, will be abnormal. It's not normal. Jack's going to walk around the world. So he's going to walk around the world, which means he's going to visit all the countries that he likes to see. He isn't going to walk forwards. Okay, which means he decided to walk in the opposite of this, which means he is not going to walk forward. He's going to walk backwards. He's going to backwards. Okay, which means to walk steps to the back. It's not to the front. And he says walking forwards isn't interesting, which means it is not something which make me happy when I'm doing this journey. I have to try something else in order to enjoy my time. Then he says also everybody walks forwards, which means all the people are walking forwards. Me, you, and another one, and all the world are walking forwards. The next paragraph you have, Judy isn't going to walk. She's going to go by plane. Okay, which means she's not going to walk by her feet. She's going to use the airplane. Then she's going to meet Jack in different countries, which means if he goes or if he travels to London, she also goes to travel there and she see him there. If he traveled, for example, to, let's say, China, she is also going to travel to China to meet him there. Okay, next paragraph you have, Judy is helping Jack get ready, which means she helps him to take whatever he needs. So what are these things that he's going to need? For example, you have, he's going to take a backpack and a tent. He's going to climb mountains. Okay, which means he's going to climb mountains and walk through forests and jungles. Then he's going to walk through deserts, all backwards, which means all these things, walking in the forests or through the forests in jungles and deserts, all this he's going to do them backwards. He's going to walk backwards. Okay, then he says he's going to take a camera in order to do what? He says, I'm going to take pictures of interesting places. So he takes the camera with him in order to take pictures about the places that he visits and he finds them interesting and he likes them. Last paragraph you have, he's going to stop at the internet cafes and use computers. So as you see here, we have internet cafe, which means he's going to stop here when he feels himself that he's so tired and he wants to communicate with his friends. So he's going to stop here to take a rest. Then he says, or when he gets home, he's going to write a book about his trip. Which means when he's going to back, he's going to take a book and he writes all the events that happened with him, and he's going to write about all the places that he see, and for example, the food that he eats and so on. Then he says it's going to be a great book, which means this book that he's going to write will be interesting and will be great for him. As I say to you, he's going to mention all what happened with him in his journey. Okay, so you are going to read the text again in your student's book, and you try to answer the questions. So for the questions, here you have the instruction. Read the text again, write Judy's answers, which means try to read the text more than one time, and you answer what you have. The first question you have, what's Jack planning? Which means what's his plan? Or what's his program? And here you have as an example, he's planning an unusual trip, which means his program is doing an unusual trip. Okay? The second question, what do you have? What's he going to do? Okay? Which means what are the things that he's going to do in this trip? So try to answer from the text. We're going to take a look at the text that you have. So for the second answer, we says, what's he going to do? So you have the first paragraph. Judy and Jack Gibson are looking at a map of the world. They are planning an unusual trip. Jack's going to walk around the world. He isn't going to walk forwards. He's going to walk backwards. Walking forwards isn't interesting, says Jack. Everybody walks forward. Okay, so for the second question, you're going to find it, of course, in this paragraph, in the paragraph number 1. Then you have question 3. What are you going to do, Judy? So here, imagine that Judy who's going to answer. It's not here. So we have what are you going to do, Judy? What she's going to say? She's going to say, I'm going. Then you finish the answer. So let's take a look, where are we going to find the answer? So here you have, for Judy, she says, Judy isn't going to walk. She's going to go by plane. She's going to meet Jack in different countries. So in the second paragraph, you're going to find the answer. Let's move to question 4. What's Jack going to take? Which means what are the things that he's going to take with him? In the text, read paragraph 3. Judy is helping Jack get ready. He's going to take a backpack and a tent. He's going to climb mountains and walk through the forests, jungles, and deserts. All backwards. He's going to take a camera. I'm going to take pictures of interesting places, he says. Which means this here you are going to find the answer of question 4. Then you have question number 5. Where's he going to walk? Okay, where's he going to walk, which means to which place that he's going to go. So here are the questions that you have. I'm going to read them again for you, and you read the text, try to answer. Let's say the first question is, what's Jack planning? And the answer is, he's planning an unusual trip. The second one you have, what's he going to do? Which means what are the things that he's going to do? We say that you're going to find it in the first paragraph. Then you have, what are you going to do, Judy? So here's, you're going to talk like Judy. We're not going to say she's and you finish the answer. No, we say I'm going to, then you finish the answer. Question 4, you have, what's Jack going to take? What's Jack going to take? So you read the paragraph that you have, and I say to you, it's paragraph number 3, and you try to find the answer. Okay, or maybe paragraph number 1. So try to search the answer, maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4, or I don't know exactly. Actually, I'm not going to show you where is the answer. Okay, and the last question you have, what's he going to do when he gets home? So when he gets home, what are the things that he's going to do? So we finish the lesson of today. I hope it's clear for you. If you have any question or if you have any comments, you are welcome in my private box. So you are welcome whenever you want. If you want to ask whatever you want, you are welcome. Okay, and for the students who don't have their books, I'm going to send the pictures of the lesson for them in order to answers. But for those who have, you can answer in your student's book. Okay, and no need to take what you have in the video, because I am going to send them to you as a pictures